Well, good morning, everybody. It's right about 6 a.m. It's 54 degrees out. I've been serenaded all night by an owl and some loons. So that was nice. And now it's time to get up, get breakfast, get camp tour down, and get back on the trail. About 13 miles today. All right, 7:43 a.m. The temperature was actually down to 50 when I just checked, and of course it's warmed up a little bit, so it's probably in the 40s outside of my shelter. So I didn't have the tarp buckled down. I probably could have kept it another few degrees warmer in there just from my body heat. But so it was 54 inside my shelter, but it was like probably 48 or so outside of it. Anyway, back on the trail. Just had, rather than doing oatmeal this morning, I just did a Pop-Tart and some coffee. Didn't want to waste the time because I have more mileage today. And tomorrow, if it's pouring, which it may be, I'll probably do just another Pop-Tart. Skip the oatmeal altogether. I may even skip the coffee. Just to get moving. So anyway, today is Beaver Dam Day, I believe, so it could get pretty wet. I am prepared for that. If it doesn't rain, which I don't think it's supposed to till tonight. Right now it's looking beautiful out. I'm gonna do all I can to keep my feet dry. So I brought I have my water shoes, my pants convert to shorts, and I have a towel, microfiber towel, to dry off when I get out, just to keep everything dry. All right, about 13 miles today. Let's get trucking. Well, somehow I got a little sidetracked there. The trail seemed to go off. I did get to see beautiful Simmons Pond, but that was not the way. So I've had to backtrack a little bit. And I'm now back on the trail, which right now is perilous with all the mud and water and rock hopping. I'm sure this is all part of that wet part. I've been able to navigate it so far without changing shoes, but I understand there comes a point where that's not possible. So we'll just have to deal with it when we get there. It doesn't matter, my pants got wet anyway, just walking through thick brush that looked like the trail when it wasn't. So anyway, tally-ho, carry on. Well, so much for that. I stepped on a log, it sank, I slipped. Rather than going fully into the water, I planted my left foot into the water, and I'm wet. So much for that. Coming up to the Olmstead Pond lean-to right now. It's just gonna be one of them days, I guess. Nice, has some saws. All right, well, I'm at this junction. High Falls is 5.8. That is the area where I was going to camp today, but I may be pushing right through and headed home, and at least back to my car. And the reason is it looks like I lost my car keys. So it's my hope that they're either in the sign-in box, maybe somebody found them and put them in there, or I left them in there, or they're on the ground by the car. But before I go call Anna, it's still plenty early. I have time to make it, and if not, the last bit I can do night hiking. But I think I'm just gonna push through, see if I have my keys or can find my keys. I'm gonna let Anna know when I get to Wanakena, which there should be cell service there. Send her the Google Map location. She'll have to grab my spare set of keys, and I'm trying to turn this over to God, so I guess I'm just gonna have to do what I have to do. So we'll see if I can find them and go from there. Well, I'm at the base of Cat Mountain. I just saw a black bear. I just scampered up the hill. I don't know if we'll be able to see it or not. See if it's looking back at me. I don't know. It might have just ran off. It's right up there. Right where I'm headed. Of course, it had to be right where I'm headed. Ran off this way. Good news is it bolted, so I don't think it wanted to mess with me. I certainly don't want to mess with it. Alright, so Cat Mountain is that way. I'm not going that way. Dead Creek Flow, Wanakena, 4.7 miles, although that's taking a shortcut. I won't be going that way. I will eventually be going to Wanakena, but it's definitely a longer trek than 4.7 miles. I said I was gonna camp at High Falls. That was incorrect. It's High Rock, which is past, probably 2 miles past High Rock or High Falls. So I'll be headed that way, and I probably have about the same amount of distance to get to High Falls. And of course, I think there's a trail that goes up to that, like there is to Cat Mountain. I won't be going up that. Be continuing on the CL50 trail. I'll get to High Rock. I may stop between now and then and reapply some bandages and have something to eat. I've been snacking a little bit here and there, but we'll see how I feel. Making good time. It's only 10:48, so that's good. I should be able to make it, as long as my body will make it, back to the car before dark. Take the shortcut to town, 3.6 miles, and I'd have not far to go to get to my car, but we're going this way. It's almost 3 miles to High Falls, probably a couple more to there, and then about 9 from there back to the car. I'm not doing the CL50 to not do the CL50, and just because I'm not sure where my car keys are, it's not enough of an emergency to cut the time out. I mean, I can still spend the night if I need to and hike out tomorrow, but I don't know. I'm making such good time, I may just push through today. I'm thinking I'm going to do that. That way I can get that ball rolling if I need to. But anyway, let's enjoy the rest of this hike. All right, well, I just hit 36 miles, which means only about 14 more to go till I'm completely done. Not bad. That's my bridge. Please don't let me fall. Please don't let me fall. Well, I made it. It was very bouncy, so pretty scary. And there's a little snake over here. He went under there to greet me that I made it. So that was nice. Anyway, let's continue on. Well, this is adding insult to injury. Back a while back, the trail split and there was no clear sign as to which way to go. They both said 50. That turns out, according to my GPS, I just backtracked. I don't even know how far, so I just added mileage, but now I gotta go back to that intersection and go the other way. This is just wonderful. CL50 people, you need to fix that. 8.6 to 1. Oh joy. Alright, so I just drank the last of my water. I am going to be stopping and get the next decent stream to refill. And then I've determined that, well, my body is determined I am not going to go all the way today. There's just no way I can do another 9 miles once I reach that campsite. Not to mention it's starting to get dark and gloomy looking, which means rain is coming. So I'm gonna get there, I'm gonna hunker down, and I'm gonna hibernate and rejuvenate my body, and I'll deal with the keys and stuff like that tomorrow. I'll let Anna know what to expect, but I'm just gonna have to go from that. But I gotta get to this campsite first. So I guess my body definitely has a certain number of miles in it a day, and that's about all it will do. Well, it looks like that's been there a while. Seeing how the tree has grown up inside the frame. It's a good sized tree now. I just crossed that massive deep beaver dam. It was hairy. Alright, so camp is set up. I'm in storm mode, but if I really wanted to be in full storm mode, I would drop that down a couple feet so it's right on top of the hammock, but I think I'll be fine with that. There's High Rock View, which is where I'm going to be having dinner. My bear bag is going to be right over there. Got my boots and my socks down there. Trying to catch that last bit of sun to dry out a little bit before the hike out tomorrow. My feet are pretty beat up. I've got blisters on, I don't know, a bunch of them. A bunch of my toes. So I'll be treating those later. I'm going to let them air out tonight, and then I'll tape them tomorrow. Or retape some of them and tape the other ones. To get this hike out. My legs just need to rest. I'm gonna eat a little bit, recharge, and I'll get to bed and get up early, and we're kind of getting out of here. So anyway, have a good night, everybody, and I will see you on day 4. Hey everyone, Pastor Rick here. So night of day 3, day 4. I had gone to bed and the wind picked up quite significantly. I was probably having 20 to 30 mile an hour gusts of wind. And my tarp did hold quite well, but I ended up getting up about 2 o'clock in the morning and battening it down a little bit better. And but it's still, the wind kept picking up and it kept waking me up. And then around 3 something in the morning, I started to see lightning and hearing thunder. And being on a ridge, unlike when I was in the saddles in that thunderstorm where I was way down low in a valley and I felt pretty safe there, did not feel overly safe at one of the highest points in that area. So I decided to go ahead and administer first aid to myself and pack up, which I did abruptly. I didn't eat or anything like that. I took a Pop-Tart out and threw it in my pocket for later. But I packed up, I threw on my headlight, and I did some night hiking. So and then as I was night hiking, which I think I hit the trail about 4:05 a.m. It was within an hour, still another 2 hours or hour till sunrise. That the sky just opened up and it was just a deluge of rain. You could barely see in front of the headlamp as far as the headlamp would go. It was so heavy of rain. And so there isn't a whole lot of filming on the last day, day 4. In fact, by the time I actually got to the ranger school, I was starting to hurt pretty bad. And so then it was just a lesson in endurance and willpower to get that last bit home, back to my car. And so we'll go ahead and watch what footage that we have of that, and then I'll come back in at the end, tell you what happened at the end, and we'll have the relive video, and then I will go, that'll be for the entire 4-day journey, and then I'll go ahead and go over, I have some equipment here that I wanted to go over some of the changes I made so you can see that. So here is the night 3, day 4. All right, well, it's 4:17 a.m. I decided to pack it up because the wind was just getting too bad. There were lightning, some rumbles of thunder. It is starting to sprinkle now. So I just packed everything up. I didn't even put things in stuff sacks. I just packed it all up. And I had done my first aid before I did that, before I packed. So I am on the trail headed toward Wanakena. It's about 3.5 miles to Wanakena. And according to the GPS, about 8.36 miles to the car. So I'm not going to be filming much after this until daylight. So anyway, here we go. Well, I just hit the 50-mile mark, but unfortunately I still have about 3.5, maybe 4 miles to go. So, trekking on. This is probably going to be the longest 1.4 miles I've done. Well, folks, we made it a little over 54 miles, and as you can see, I'm sitting in my car, which means I found my keys. They were sitting on the trunk of my car. I heard this was a safe place to park, and I guess so, because my car was even still here. But praise the Lord, answer to prayer. I am able to drive home now. So we'll have a little equipment / debriefing video right after this. All right, everybody. So I made it, and I earned my CL50 patch, which just came the other day. And so 50 miles, 54 miles in the books. And as I said at the end of the video, I did finally make it to the car, and there sitting on my trunk were my car keys. So that was an answer to prayer, and I'm so happy that my car was even still there. But I had seen on the CL50 Facebook group that all the parking areas near Wanakena are quite safe. And so they really don't have a problem there, which is great. It's a great thing. So let's talk about equipment, because I made some equipment changes, some of which I hadn't even practiced using. So which you don't normally want to do, but I made some pretty decent equipment changes to save on weight, and just some upgrades and things like that. So the first thing that I upgraded was my pillow, believe it or not, which is kind of a convenience. But I went from this pillow right here, which is the Wise Owl. That's my budget pillow, which it does not compress really. I mean, that's the size of it. It's not super heavy, but I went from that to this. And you can see there's quite a size difference there. And there is some weight savings, you know, it's ounces, but this pillow works just as good as this pillow, but at considerably smaller size. So, which when I talk about the packs at the end of this, you know, it makes a difference. Another thing that I upgraded was my shovel in case I have to do number 2. In the woods, which this is what I had, and this is what I went to. This is the Deuce 2, and it weighs ½ an ounce, where this weighs a little bit more than that. So again, space savings and weight savings there. Another area where I saved some weight is I had this first aid kit right here, which even without most of the stuff in it is still pretty heavy. And I just went to putting it in a baggie. And so I saved some space there. The one thing I did not carry with me, which I will never not carry with me again, is my Body Glide. This is for chafing, and I had, you know, researched before I even started my hiking season that I should have this. Dickie Dano, a friend of mine, a member of my congregation, suggested baby powder, which either or would have been, you know, vital to have. But Body Glide will be going in my kit from now on. Another thing that I added was the Garmin InReach Mini. Now I debated between this and the Garmin Explorer, which has it's bigger, it has a screen on it, it's a traditional GPS, but I use my phone for GPS. I have Gaia GPS, I have AllTrails. Gaia is much more reliable, or it has been for me, so I'm gonna stick with that. That's because AllTrails seem to crash quite a bit. So I'm using Gaia as my main GPS, but what this does is, this was my peace of mind, and Anna's peace of mind. This allowed me to, one, communicate with her via the Iridium satellite network as opposed to a cell service. So my phone links up with that with Bluetooth, and then I can send, there's 3 preset texts I can send that are part of my subscription cost. And they're something like, you know, I'm on the trail, all is good. I'm at camp for the day, all is good. And I think I have one that says I'm delayed, but I'm okay. Everything else after that costs you a message, and there's different subscription plans for how many texts you can get. I use the one where I can do 40 a month, which is really not a lot if you think about it, but I was able to custom text Anna and communicate with her. So even when I had no cell service. So that was good. Plus, she could, if she wanted to, she had a link that she could click on that had shows a map, and she could see where I was. This was sending my location every 10 minutes. And then, of course, on the side of this, there's a flip up little compartment here, and inside there's an SOS button. Where when you hit that, it goes to a monitoring center, it sends your location, and then they can text back and forth. And you can text on this device, but it's difficult. So I just use my phone. So the Garmin InReach Mini, I'm going to be carrying that from now on as well. And the beauty about the subscription plan I have is once my hiking season's over, which I think I'm going to do one more with my son Zachary, and that's to the Rock Pond and Grizzle Ocean Pond. But once my hiking season's over for the year, I can pause my subscription. I don't have to pay, and then when I'm ready to start hiking in the spring, I can just turn it back on again. So that's it's a good flexible plan. And anyway, continuing on to my equipment. The other main equipment upgrade that I did, other than the pack, which I'll talk about last again, is my hammock system. So this is my original hammock system. This is the tarp by Lysol. Now this was not expensive. The hammock itself, which is pretty heavy actually, but it has the straps in here. The suspension system, the straps and the carabiners add to the weight of this. And this is a double layer wide. And then, of course, the bug net. So I have 3 items here, and then the new one, the Blackbird XLC and the Superfly. This is the Superfly. This is the hammock, and it weighs less. And the thing about this is too, is this will really compress up. Right? These will compress up. This one will, to a point. Okay, this doesn't compress that much more. And of course the bug net's built in to this hammock, where this goes around it, so it's like a whole extra thing. So less space, and it's lighter. This is a single layer. It is still a wide, but it's a single layer, and it's a little bit longer. This is a 10-foot hammock. This is an 11-foot hammock. So it gives me a chance to get a better lay. The other thing about this hammock, the new one, is the suspension system is much, much lighter. It's basically 2, I don't even know what kind of straps they are, but they're considerably lighter, and there's no hardware. You just use a Beckett hitch knot. And, I do carry some extra carabiners to clip in for safety. You could do a double Beckett hitch. But I just do a single, throw a little carabiner on there. You could also use a stick if you wanted to, and significant weight savings between the two systems. Lysol was a great starter hammock. If Anna and I ever go out, maybe kayaking to that one campsite or something, I would bring these. If somebody was going with me, didn't have a hammock, wanted to try it out, I'd certainly let you use it. But that's that. And then the last thing that I upgraded really was my pack system. And so this is a Z-Pack Arc Air 50 liter, where my other is a Field and Stream 65 liter. The Arc Air only weighs 1 pound and 5 ounces. So less than 1.5 pounds, where the other one weighs 4.5 pounds. Now, there are some differences. So this pack, first of all, it has a brain on it. It's called a brain. So it's got pockets up in here. It's like a lid that closes over. And then it has side pockets, 1 pocket on each side. And then it has a lower section. Within that is also the pack cover. Okay. It's got a good size, thick padded belts, extra padded shoulder pads, and it can hold an H2O water bladder as well. It's a good pack. It's if I were doing winter hiking or something like that, I would certainly wear this, use this. And if I have to carry heavy items because that's rated for much heavier weight, then I would do that. The Z-Packs has padded straps, of course. The Z-Pack has padded straps. It's got a carbon fiber frame in it, which bends to kind of keep the pack off your back. It gives an airspace in between. It also has a padded belt, but it's much smaller. And rather than those big straps like on the Field and Stream, they're smaller, thinner straps. There's 2 water bottle pockets on the side. And then there's a mesh pocket on the back, which allows for storage. One of the big differences here is it's got a roll top. Okay, where you just open it up. And essentially, it's just one big, giant pocket down inside. And then I have I switched from a contractor backpack liner to one of those. And of course the material itself, this is made out of Dyneema, which is virtually waterproof. The pack itself, if you dropped it in water, would not be completely waterproof because you'd have to seam sealing. But you know, it gets wet and it's dry like really quickly. And the water doesn't really penetrate when it's raining. So, but I still use a pack liner just in case. This is a great pack. You know, it's got some extra straps and things to hook things to. But love this pack. You know, if I had been using the other pack, I would have been close to 40 pounds. Where I was only 30 pounds with the new system. So those are the equipment changes I made for this hike, and I'm really happy with that. Some of the other stuff I bought the way I wanted it. The one thing I did not have on this hike that it actually just came the other day is my new underquilt system, which is no weight savings, but it's specifically built for this hammock, and it's rated for 20 degrees colder, which is, you know, will take me through my hiking season, because I don't hike in the winter. I really don't plan on hiking in the winter, but, you know, late fall in upstate New York or Vermont or, you know, the Northeast does get pretty cold at night. And so my new underquilt's rated for 20 degrees, which that should be plenty sufficient. Anyway, if you have any questions about equipment or hiking in general, you can drop them in the comment section, or if you happen to run into me, you can certainly ask. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this series of videos on the Cranberry Lake 50 hike, and you know, just hit like and subscribe if you would. You know, that helps my channel a little bit to you know, share this experience of hiking out in God's creation. So until the next time, take care, God bless, and we'll see you again.